Today we will see for the breast cancers. Okay, breast cancers and so breast cancer is not yet taken by Dr. Kelly, right? Breast cancer topic is taken by anyone?
No, sir.
No.
No,
Okay.
sir.
So can anybody tell me what do you understand? Uh, what do you understand by breast cancers? Anyone can tell me what are the symptoms of breast cancer?
Lumps in the breast.
Okay, then what is next?
Discoloration.
What is next? What is next?
Most of the breast.
It
Start.
Yeah, okay, next.
Inverted nipple discoloration.
Okay, next. Yeah, so good. You can see the image on the screen?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so on the right side,
Yes,
there is
sir.
a
Yes,
muscle
sir.
moving. This is a breast tissue, okay? And these are the lactiferous ducts. This is the nipple areola complex. And so you know the lymphatic supply of the body, right? That from any part of the body there is a lymphatic supply which goes to the lymph nodes, right? Okay? Yeah, so as you already said, there are various signs and
Yes,
symptoms
sir.
of breast cancers. So the most common is the lump in the breast, which has been detected by the woman herself or maybe her partner. Most commonly, it is detected while taking a bath or routine activity, while taking your clothes and all those things. The other things which, when the tumor increases, there could be a retraction of the nipple. There could be increase in the swelling so that it becomes very obvious. The tumor might increase to a large extent, and it might be ulceration of the skin might be there. Sometimes there could be a bleeding or a frank ulcer will be there on the skin. Sometimes you might feel, so these are the symptoms when the tumor is limited to the breast only. So suppose that the tumor is there for a long period of time and the woman or any girl or a female patient ignores it, then obviously after some time the tumor will increase and it will go to other sites. So the most other common sites for the metastasis will be either to the lungs, which is the commonest site, or to the liver, or to the other body part, that is bones. So these are the three major body parts: lungs, liver and bone, where the tumor might spread. But if the tumor spread to these organs, then woman might present with different symptoms. Like if the tumor is spreading to the lung, she might say that I am having cough or breathlessness because it is spread to lung. If it is spread to bone, then she might say that yes, I am having some back pain, or I am whenever I stand or sit, I feel pain while doing the activity. If it's spread to brain, then she might come with the headache, vomiting, or history of seizure also, right? You are getting it? You can.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So how any cancer spreads to the body? So either by lymphatic supply. So these are the lymphatic from any blood, any tissue. So this lymphatic supply will go to lymph nodes, and from there it will enter again into the bloodstream through the lymphatic channels. The other spread is local spread, where the tumor will grow from the breast tissue to the surrounding parts. So it might go inside towards the lung, it might come out from the skin, it might go to the backside, to the axilla, or to the medial part, and may extend to the opposite side of the breast also. So either local spread is by local extension of the breast tissue, lymphatic spread which will go through these lymphatics, and through blood vessels, that is hematogenic spread. So there could be some cancer cell which will erode the blood vessels. You can see these are the blood vessels. So from these blood vessels, when the cell will enter the blood vessel, it will enter to the blood vessels and it will spread to the other body parts through the blood. So most common cause of this distant spread, that is distance means away from the breast tissue, is this lymphatic spread or through the blood tissue, that is hematogenic spread. So there are different stages of breast cancer depending on the spread. Stage 1 when it is limited mostly. So mostly stage 1, 2 and 3 are limited to the breast tissues. Okay. So whether it is spreading to the lymph nodes, so there are lymph nodes also which are divided as per level 1, level 2 and level 3. So level 1 will be little bit closer to the breast tissue. level 2 will be apex of axilla, and level 3 will be the beyond the apex of axilla. So when these nodes are involved, according to level stage 1, 2 and 3 is defined. When it's spread to the distant organ like lung, bones, liver, then we call it as stage 4. So the symptoms will also depend on the size of the tumor and the stage of the tumor. If it is a small size, it will be mostly limited to the breast tissue. Then woman might say I am only getting some lump. Sometimes there could be pain. If it increases, then swelling in the axilla might be there because of the nodes which are enlarged. Sometimes the blood could be there, or ulceration of the skin can occur. And if it's spread to distant organ like lung, then breathlessness, cough, bone will cause pain in the bones. If it is brain, then vomiting, nausea, or headache, all these complaints will be there. If it's spread to liver, then she might lose the appetite, or she might feel fullness in the abdomen, and other body organs can be affected at any part of the cycle. So, can anyone tell me whether breast cancer is genetic or not? What are the causes of breast cancer? What do you think are the causes of breast cancer?
So obesity?
Obesity, yes. Anything else? What do you think will lead to breast cancer? You are all mostly ladies in your batch. So what is your fear that what will cause the breast cancer? Any guess? If your relative is suffering from breast cancer, like your mother or your aunt, are you at increased risk of breast cancer?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So breast cancer could be either hereditary. So when we call that, if it is in your family, so if it is in the family, then it could be hereditary, like your mother or your aunt, your mother's sister or your grandmother is suffering from breast cancer, then there is a risk that you will also be getting the breast cancer, and your risk will be increasing according to the closeness of the relative. So you can see on the right side, the family history is important, right? So family history, so if your mother is suffering from the cancer, probably you are at more risk. But if your aunt is suffering from breast cancer, then probably you are at less risk. But if you are having two or more relatives suffering from breast cancer, like your grandmother has breast cancer, your mother has breast cancer, your aunt has breast cancer, then obviously the risk will increase exponentially. So that is being because of the gene mutation. So what gene it is? It is BRCA gene, breast cancer gene, BRCA gene. So all those people who has the history of family history of breast cancers, we generally ask them to do BRCA testing, right? So this BRCA testing can be done in any laboratory from the blood of the patients, and they can see whether they are carrying that gene which make them prone to breast cancer in future, right? Then other causes you can see on the right side, late childbearing. So breast cancer is related to the hormone. Okay, so two important hormones in the female body are, which are the two important hormones in female body? Anyone? Which are the two important hormones in female body? Which hormone is there in female body and which hormone is there in male body? Estrogen. And males will have testosterone, right? So breast cancer is actually related to the hormonal imbalance also. So actually estrogen is associated with increased risk of breast cancers, right? So when you have late childbearing or early menstruation and late menopause, so that increases your chances of breast cancer because it is associated with estrogen production. So the longer the estrogen production is there, so if you get early menstruation, that means your estrogen production has started early, and late menopause, that means your estrogen was there for a long period of your life cycle. So these women are at increased risk of breast cancer. Late childbearing, because if you have the child, then the estrogen production will stop and progesterone will increase, right? So if you are late childbearing, that means if you are getting the first child after 30 years of age, then the risk of breast cancer will increase. Increased breast density, so this is common when the breast tissue is more fibrotic. Then prolonged use of oral contraceptive. The more you are using oral contraceptive, so that will also contain estrogen, progesterone, or hormone replacement therapy after menopause. Some women who feel Postmenopausal symptoms like flushing or all those things, we give hormone replacement therapy. So that will also contain estrogen, progesterone. So that means they are going to be there in your body for a long period of time, and that can also lead to increased risk of breast cancer. And also alcohol intake or tobacco intake is also being found to be associated with increased risk of breast cancer, and other causes like lifestyle, then obesity is also associated with increased risk of breast cancer. So to repeat it, family history of breast cancer, most important thing, gene mutation if you are carrying a BRCA mutation gene, late childbearing generally after 30 years of age, early menstruation or late menopause, increased breast. So this will also lead to whether you have breastfed the child or not, because if the mother is breastfeeding the child, then the hormonal production will be, the estrogen production will be stopped for the time being. So that will also be a preventive measure. So whether the woman has breastfed or not will also be important risk factor for your breast cancer. Early menstruation and late menopause, increased breast density, prolonged use of oral contraceptive and hormone replacement therapy, and alcohol and tobacco use are associated with increased risk of breast cancer. Right? Anything, any doubts so far? Any doubts you have?
No, sir.
Okay. So once you are, suppose that a patient is having some lump in the breast, so how will you diagnose the breast cancer? What is the method to diagnose breast cancer? What will you do? What is the most important method that confirms that yes, somebody has a breast cancer? Hmm?
Self breast examination.
Okay, so these are the clinical evaluation. When the patient comes to you, we'll ask them to undergo evaluation. So what are the evaluation will be done? So first will be the clinical breast examination. Self breast examination is done by the patient herself, right? So when she is using self breast examination every week or every month as per advice by the doctor, so that she will say that I have some lump or something is there and I want to go and show to the doctor. When she will come to the clinic, we as an oncologist will examine the breast. That is called as clinical breast examination, right? So if you find something on a clinical breast examination, we'll ask for a further test. And even if we don't find anything, still we can do a mammography test. So further test, if there is a tumor or a lump is there, the most important thing will be either FNAC or biopsy of that lesion, right? So in FNAC, we'll put a needle inside the breast tissue, or if you do biopsy, a bigger needle will be put, and a sample is taken from the breast tissue, which is sent to histopathology for examination, right? So once my histopathology will tell me कि yes, कि this tumor is there and it is confirmed that it's a breast cancer, then what I want next is the staging of the tumor, right? So once I know that the breast cancer is present in the FNAC or histopathology biopsy sample, then I will want to stage the patient, because the treatment will depend on the stage of the patient. So for staging, what test I will be doing? Suppose that the patient comes, I examine, there is a tumor, I did a biopsy, sent to the pathologist. Pathologist comes back and told me that yes, there is a cancer cells are present, and she has confirmed that it is a breast cancer. So what next stage? What next investigations I will do to determine the stage of the breast cancer? Anyone? What next stage will be done? Next step will be done to determine the stage of the breast cancer, to see whether it is limited to the breast or whether it has spread to the different body parts. What can be done? What do you do generally to determine the stage of the breast cancer or any cancer for that matter? Any guess? Any of your relative who had a cancer, they went to doctor, they advised something, na? What they advise generally? No idea? Biopsy is already done. The pathologist has said that it is confirmed that it's a breast cancer. Now you want to stage the breast cancer, na? Whether it's stage 1. You always come to the doctor and you ask na, whether it's stage 1, stage 2, stage 3 or stage 4, right? So for staging, which investigation you will want to do? So you do CT scans, right? Or no? So staging can be done by two methods. One is clinical breast examination to know whether how much big is the tumor, what is the size. So you can see my screen on the right side. Some staging, the tumor size is also important, whether it is less than 1 millimeter, more than 5 millimeter, or more than a centimeter, 5 centimeter. Accordingly, the staging is done. And since it's a subjective thing, other parts of the body like lungs, liver, bones, or brain, I cannot see from the clinical breast examination, right? Or clinical examination. For these things, I need some invasive method. So mostly these are done with the help of sonography, X-ray, or CT scan, and nowadays PET CT scan is also available, or MRI is also available, right? So all these methods, including X-ray, CT scans, MRI, or sonography, these are done to determine the final stage. So if I do a CT scan of the chest and abdomen and I see that there is a tumor deposits in the lung or the liver, then it will ultimately become stage 4, right? But if it is limited to the chest only, the area of the chest only, so you can see on the screen. So T1 is limited to the breast tissue only, T2 is more 2 to 5 centimeter, T3 is more than 5 centimeter. It becomes T4 when the tumor is extending to the chest wall or skin with macroscopic extension. Then according to also T4, there are different types. Chest wall invasion is T4A. Then T4B is microscopic skin invasion, and accordingly T4B is T4A plus B, and inflammatory carcinoma when there is a huge changes in the breast with all inflammation and everything, that we call it as T4. When it spreads beyond breast tissue into the lung, liver, bones, we call it as stage 4. So accordingly, these cancers are staged, right? So we know that to confirm the diagnosis, we need a histopathology. Histopathology is done with the help of FNAC or biopsy. So for confirmation of the breast cancer, two important tests, that is FNAC and biopsy, and the histopathology report will tell us whether it's confirmed or not. For the staging, we need clinical breast examination, X-ray, sonography, CT scans, or MRI depending on the patient's budget, right? So all these tests are advised to determine the stage. So once the pathologist has confirmed that it is cancer, now we have done a CT scan and we have confirmed the stage also. What is the next line of management? What will you do next? I have the report of the biopsy, I have a report of a CT scan or sonography, whatever. Then what will I do next? Treatment? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So in the next line, I will want to do the treatment of the patient. So that treatment will depend on my, so this is, treatment will depend on my stage, right? So you can see my screen now, stage 1A, 1B, 2A, 2B, 3A, TB, and 3C. You can see on the screen, right? Can you see the screen? Various stages?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So these stages are up to stage 3, it is limited to the breast tissue mostly. When it is beyond stage 3, it means it has spread to the distant organ like chest, abdomen, or bones or other body part, lungs or other body part. So up to stage 3, there are various types of treatment. One is surgery, second is radiation, and third is chemotherapy, right? So surgery of the breast, what are the types of breast surgery? You know the types of breast surgery?
Mastectomy.
Yes, then?
Mastectomy.
Or, so any types of mastectomy? So types of breast surgery, any types of, so we have mastectomy. So mastectomy also has multiple subtypes, right? So mastectomy can be simple mastectomy, okay? It could be a radical mastectomy, or it could be a modified radical mastectomy depending on the extent, right? So it could be a partial mastectomy, it could be a radical mastectomy, it could be a skin paring mastectomy, it could be a nipple paring mastectomy to give more cosmetic appearance for the remaining breast. All these things come under mastectomy. But mastectomy is a radical procedure in which we remove the entire breast. But it is not required for all the breast cancer patient to remove the total breast, right? Sometimes woman might say that if the tumor is small, I want to conserve my other part of the breast to have a better cosmetic outcome, right? So in that case, we call it as breast conservation surgery. Okay. So in breast conservation surgery, only the part of the tumor is removed with surrounding normal tissue. You can see on the screen, right? See. So only the part of the tumor and the surrounding tissue is removed and the remaining breast is left behind. So that is what we called it as breast conserving surgery. So generally these procedures are done when the tumors are small and they are not occupying the whole of the breast tissue. So in these cases we can conserve the breast tissue and give the better cosmetic outcome after the surgery. But generally these surgeries are advised for the early stages and not in the advanced stages, right? So breast conservation surgeries can also be done and the part of the breast tissue can be removed and the nipple areola or the breast can be conserved to give better cosmetic appearance. So either mastectomy, there are different types of mastectomy, or breast conservation surgery can be done in these patients. So even if you do the surgery, it doesn't mean that the tumor is completely removed and you don't need further treatment. No. So if it is a very early stage breast cancer, probably only surgery will be okay. But if it is little bit more stage, like stage 1C and beyond, so if it is stage 1C, 2 or 3, you need to give further treatment also to these patients. The further treatment will be either in the form of chemotherapy or radiation therapy. Now, anyone knows how the chemotherapy is given for the breast cancer? What do? You give tablet, injection, saline. How do you give? Any guess? How the chemotherapy is given? It is given through. Yes, yes.
Chemoport.
Okay, but how it is given? Chemopoto is a method of giving IV something. How it is given? Through IV or through tablets? Chemo?
Ma'am, start from both.
Okay, so there are different types of chemotherapy. Chemotherapy can be given in tablet form also, it can be given in IV also. So, most of the time these breast cancer patients, they get at least 3 to 4 months of chemotherapy. Okay, so in those cases, sometimes after chemotherapy, it is very difficult to get the peripheral line after some 2-3 cycles because the peripheral veins become blocked, right? In these cases, we generally try to install the chemo port into the chest. You can see on this screen. So this chemo port is installed and it is the inside wire goes inside the heart and this port is kept under the skin. So you can see, so this port is kept under, this is the incision. So this port which is you see, it is kept under the skin. So the next time the patient comes for injections, you just have to attach the IV line with a needle and insert that needle into this port ka rubber surface, right? So you can see this port, this is a rubber surface, this will be placed under the skin, this line will go inside the heart. So this will be under the skin, here you can see it, this will be under the skin and you have to insert this needle, you can see this needle into this and the needle is attached to the IV line. So most of these patients are given IV chemotherapy generally for 3 to 4 months and after that we again in between also evaluate these patients with different scans whether the disease is increasing in between or not. After that the patient will be referred for radiation therapy also. Last time you had seen the radiation therapy, I think Dr. Antia has already told you about radiation therapy, how it is given. Which instrument we give radiation therapy? Any machine you know from which the radiation therapy can be done? What is the name of the machine? Any guess? What is the name of the radiation therapy machine? So this machine, you can see the screen, right? Can you see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you can see the machine on the screen. Yes? So this is called as linear accelerator. So from this machine, the radiation is generated. You can see the radiation will come through the head of this machine. The patient lies on the couch, okay? And we position the patient, we do some markings. So you can see that the patient is made to lie on these breast boards so that we get the appropriate position. After the position and everything, we mark the area to be given radiation and this radiation is focused to the breast tissue. You can see on this side, the radiation is getting irradiated to the breast tissue. So generally this area the tumor is already removed. But why we want to give radiation still when the tumor is removed? Any guess? Even if the tumor is removed, we still giving radiation to the breast after chemotherapy. Why?
Sir, to prevent the recurrent
Yes.
tumor.
So what is being removed is the gross tumor, but there could be some microscopic cells which are left behind, right? So this is the linear accelerator. We position the patient with the laser markings, and then radiation is given to the breast. So addition of chemotherapy and radiation therapy will reduce the chances of recurrence, right? Why? Because surgery is going to remove the gross tumor which is visible to the naked eye. But the surgeon will not be able to remove the small microscopic cells which are left behind after the surgery, right? So these microscopic cells will be removed or killed with the help of the chemotherapy and radiation therapy to the breast after the surgery is done to increase the survival rate of this patient. So if the patient is stage 2, if you only do the surgery, probably the patient will come back to you with the recurrence within next 2-3 years. But if you do the surgery, then radiation therapy or chemotherapy followed by chemotherapy and then radiation therapy, this patient will be probably will have the less chance of recurrence and they will be tumor free for the next 10 to 15 years also with the recent development in chemotherapy and radiation therapy. Okay, so once the patient is done, surgery is done, either mastectomy or base conservation as per the size, patient wish and the tumor surgery, the breast conservation, then chemotherapy, then radiation therapy. So both things are decrease the risk of local recurrence or the distant recurrence. After that, what is left? Any other therapy? So in the initial part, I told you that breast cancer is hormone dependent, estrogen dependent, right? So those patients who express the ERPR receptors, right? You know what is ERPR receptors? So these ERPR receptors are present inside the breast tissue also. ER means estrogen receptors, PR means progesterone receptors. So we need to give those patients who express these ERPR receptors, we need to give them long-term hormonal therapy to prevent the risk of breast cancer further. So once we had done surgery, chemotherapy, radiation therapy, we'll check whether the patient's breast cancer was expressing these ERPR receptors, estrogen and progesterone receptors. If the woman has this ERPR receptor status positive, we'll like to give some anti-hormone therapy because breast cancer is hormone dependent. So this anti-hormone therapy will be acting for a long period of time. Generally we give for 10 years now till the woman is postmenopausal or premenopausal. Depending on that, the different type of drugs are selected. So this ERPR positive women are given 10 years of hormonal therapy, anti-hormone therapy to this ERPR receptor so that the risk of breast cancer recurrence is further reduced even after radiation and chemotherapy. You are getting it? Any confusion? Right? You are getting or not?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So surgery, then followed by chemotherapy, then radiation therapy, then you check the ERPR status. If ERPR is there, you give the anti-hormone therapy for the next 10 years or whichever is, if the woman recurs. So all these things are done to reduce the risk of recurrence further. So now you know any breast cancer patients, what are the symptoms and signs they present, how it spreads through the lymphatic spread, direct spread or hematogenous spread, how you stage, confirmation is done by FNAC or biopsy, staging is done with the help of USG, X-ray, sonography, CT scan or PET CT or MRI scans. Once the patient is confirmed and staged, we do the treatment. If it is early stage, probably only surgery is okay. If it is more than one stage 1, both surgery, chemotherapy, radiation, and if the patient is ERPR positive, then hormonal therapy for next 10 years. Right? Clear? What about the patient who presents with a stage 4 disease? Means already the disease has spread to liver, bones or lungs. What will you do in these cases? Whether you will do surgery, if it is already spread to other body parts,
No, sir.
Yeah. So generally in these cases, surgery is generally avoided. But there are some indications of surgery in this stage 4 patient, but I don't think that is your area of expertise at present. So only thing you can do is all these stage 4 cases you can remember is generally given palliative chemotherapy or palliative radiotherapy or palliative hormonal therapy. Nowadays immunotherapy is also there where the immunotargets of the body are attacked with the help of immunotherapy. So all these stage 4 patient where the disease has already spread to lung, liver, bone or other body parts, these patients are given the option of palliative chemotherapy or palliative radiotherapy or palliative hormonal therapy or palliative immunotherapy depending on the clinical evaluation and the what is decided by the team of the oncologist. Clear? So stage 1, 2, 3 which is limited to the breast, the treatment is surgery in the initial stage. In the advanced stage, surgery, radiation and chemotherapy and hormonal therapy when the patient is ERPR positive. When it is already stage 4 means it has spread to the other body parts, palliative chemotherapy, palliative radiotherapy, palliative hormonal therapy or palliative immunotherapy can be done. Clear?
Yes, sir.
So anything you want to ask more about breast cancer other than this? Any doubts?
No, sir.
No doubts for you? Everything is understood? Surgery, radiation, chemotherapy, hormonal therapy or immunotherapy, staging, how you evaluate?
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
What are some of the chemotherapy drugs that are used in breast cancer?
So breast cancer generally we use drugs. So I'll tell the names. You can note down. Generally we use taxanes, Taxanes, taxanes. I'll write down taxanes. Then adriamycin, 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 right? Then cyclophosphamide, CYCLO, phos, SPHAMID, cyclophosphamide. Then docetaxel. These are the common chemotherapy drugs which is used. For hormonal therapy, we use tamoxifen for the premenopausal woman, and for the postmenopausal woman, we use anastrozole, ANASTRAZOLE, anastrozole. And for premenopausal, we generally use tamoxifen, right? And for immunotherapy, there are multiple drugs: nivolumab, NIVO, or pembrolizumab, Herceptin. All these drugs can be trastuzumab. All these drugs can be used. Trastuzumab. I think you can just go online and search the name. You'll get the things. Anything? Any other question? Then we'll.
Sir,
Yeah.
so if there is a discharge in the breast, that means it is indicate cancer.
No. So the discharge. There are various types of discharge from the breast tissue. Now, if the discharge is milky, or if it is blood tinge, or it is serosanguinous discharge, not totally blood but mixed with some pus. So there are many underlying pathology of the breast. So in the women who are reaching the puberty, there could be a minor breast discharge from the nipple areola complex, which is because of the pubertal changes. So those discharges are generally milky in color, right? From the cancer, generally the discharge is blood tinge or frank blood, right? So these blood stained discharge or blood mixed with blood discharge is more concern rather than the adult discharge. So if the woman is breastfeeding, or she has stopped breastfeeding, or she is in the pubertal age group, there are discharges which might be there from the normal breast tissue, which should not be bothered. Mostly the blood tinge discharge or the frank blood is more important rather than the other discharge. So not all the discharges are related to the cancer, but you should be more worried if it is blood stained or blood from the nipple areola complex.
No, sir.
No,
Okay,
sir.
we'll finish then. Thank you very much.